I was walking down the street the other day with my 5-year-old when all of a sudden I had to pull her out of harm's way because an electronic bike zoomed past us with almost no warning. I'm sure many of us have been in this scenario before. In fact, from January 2023 to May 2026, the emergency room has seen a 671% increase in accidents related to e-bikes and e-scooters in the emergency room, according to the American College of Surgeons. That's an outrageous statistic. My name is Susanna Rourke. I am a concerned citizen and parent. Technology is great. The use of e-bikes and e-scooters is a very strong source of transportation for some. However, we need to see stronger regulations with these things. It's no surprise that with a rapidly evolving technology that we see, that there aren't already stricter regulations as it pertains to electronic bikes and scooters. It makes sense that we would want to protect everyone alike. The riders, the pedestrians, the motorists. The road is for all of us to share. However, when we have vehicles such as e-bikes and e-scooters that are unregulated and people are allowed to ride them without a helmet, ride them without any restrictions as to where they can go, and with unregulated speeds, that results in the 671% increase in emergency room visits. Additionally, with kids, their prefrontal cortex is not established. That's the part of their brain that's going to allow them to think about their decisions, think about the consequences of their decisions. That is not developed until their mid to late 20s. So if we don't have stricter regulations on these types of vehicles, e-bikes and e-scooters, then they're going to harm their brains unintentionally, and it's going to cause, hopefully, if it's not too severe, it can cause issues further down. This is why Massachusetts has a law that if you are riding a motorcycle, you have to wear a helmet. Clearly, that law is not for children. However, the same rules should apply. When bikes were unregulated and bike paths, bike lanes were then introduced, the Federal Highway Administration reported that there was a 30% to 50% reduction in motorist versus bicycle collisions. This is something we need to see with electronic vehicles. I urge you to reach out to your local leaders and be the force, be the call to action that we need to see stricter regulations. We need to see required helmets, speed limitations, as well as a restriction to where these types of vehicles can go. They are very quiet, so it's not unheard of that you would be walking down the street with your unpredictable child, right? 5-year-olds, they're gonna weave, they're not walking in a straight line. It's your job to protect them. You're not going to hear this electronic vehicle coming up necessarily. You're on the sidewalk with loud traffic. This vehicle can zip right up without you knowing. So I implore you to reach out to your local leaders and lawmakers and ask that we have tighter restrictions placed on electronic bikes and vehicles. Thank you for listening.